This is Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars with Stephen Fennick and Trevor Long. Thanks to NRMA Insurance and Uniden.
That's us. Thank you very much to NRMA Insurance, proud supporters of Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars and proudly supporting over 3 million people across Australia, helping them protect the things they care about. And to the team at Uniden, who make amazing dash cams. You need a dash cam in your car. You're mad not to have one. It gives you peace of mind, gives you a sense of safety and security because what happens on the road is documented around you.
Absolutely.
So that when you're arguing that, no, the light was green,
yeah,
the dash cam's going to tell you.
And they're award-winning dash cams. New range out as well, worth checking out.
Check them out. Uniden and NRMA, we appreciate their support. Now, we got a lot to get through and we got more callers to talk to this week, buyers, owners, whatever it might be. If you want to talk about EVs with us, get in touch. We are utterly approachable, Stephen.
Yes, we are.
Despite the fact that I would turn my head at you in the street because I just don't know people.
What?
And,
do you get accosted in the street? Do you?
No,
I did. I have been.
Really?
Yeah, recently.
Oh, you Stephen Fennick.
Recently, I was in a Qantas lounge, and a guy goes, "Oh, mate, I'm a subscriber to your newsletter, so am I allowed to ask you a question?"
You're the one.
And he had a question about an Apple laptop. I sorted him out.
What about he claims a point?
I said, "Okay, just prove
to
it, mate.
redeem.
Show me your."
That's a good point. No, he knew you had a newsletter.
No,
That's a big
exactly
deal.
right. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't shun you. I just don't. I get embarrassed.
Say hello to me.
But
I don't care. Yeah.
I seem embarrassed. I don't really come off as somebody who likes to talk to people.
It's very humble. Trevor's very humble.
But I have a massive ego, so it feels great.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to lie.
We'll say hello for sure.
I'll definitely say that. Now, we'll get to calls in a minute, but there was a question posed in the EFTM Man Cave. We have a group on Facebook where people ask questions of each other, and I thought this was fascinating. Tony said, "Hey, Trevor, I'd like to suggest a topic for your EV podcast with Stephen." Tony, we got your back.
Boom.
Discussion around the setup options of charging stations at the workplace for our staff to use. Free to charge versus fees. What rebates exist, etc. Now, firstly, don't know what rebates exist. Good luck with that. You'll have to look into it. But
you mean for the business to set up the charger?
I'm sure that's something your accounts department would have to look into. I actually don't think many or any exist.
Right.
However, there was a couple of things I wanted to point out in the comments. Graham said, would there be a rebate for installing the chargers the end user should pay like petrol and diesel? But Chris, this is the comment that got me most. I had a similar conversation at my old workplace after 3 senior managers bought EVs. They wanted chargers installed. I said, I'm okay with that, provided we install free petrol and diesel supplies for staff. I can't understand why that was no different. And there's a whole conversation about the sense of entitlement around that. Now, first and foremost, I don't mind the idea of a workplace having an allocated EV space or 3.
Yep.
I'm not using the example in that it means the same, but same way they allocate disabled parking, you might want to allocate it as a priority because you might say in your business where we're trying to encourage it. Okay?
Yes.
It used to be. I remember Hornsby Westfield used to have all these green car spaces that were for hybrids. Like back, I'm talking 5-10 years ago.
Yep.
Hybrids. They're gone now because so many hybrids around, it was basically a waste of time.
True.
But there is no priority really anywhere for EVs other than where there are chargers. Like, Stephen, you'll think about P1 at Homebush, right?
They've taken them out actually now. The Tesla chargers are gone.
Really?
Yeah, they've got rid of them. I couldn't see them the last time I was there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So a workplace, though, is a fascinating one. I'll give you 2 experiences I've had in recent times. I went to the NBN's head office in Sydney, and I was given parking in the basement. I noticed there was like 6 spots that had EV charge. Now, this was a new building, a new everything. So it was logical, right, that they would put these chargers. Now, they were block chargers with no cable. But they also
had a BYO cable.
They were a brand which had an app, and they had a QR code. Now, I had a bit of time to kill while I was waiting for my meeting, so I actually downloaded the app and tried. You couldn't, they clearly weren't on the register, right? So they weren't available for the public to use. You couldn't get down there anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I assume they are a thing that's set up, and they were allocated spaces, right? I'm pretty confident the chief financial operator pulled in and parked next to me, and he was driving a Tesla. So I think they're allocated to certain people in certain ways, and then at Channel 9, they don't own the building, but the building that Channel 9's in, when you drive into the basement, I'm thinking 6 to 8 Tesla wall chargers. That's just the destination chargers.
Yep. which only charge Teslas.
And I don't know, but there's a brand like Omi or something, which is an app. Now, I've never tried because I park further downstairs.
Yeah.
I've never tried, but I think I could probably charge there.
Right.
And I think they're set up for anyone to use in the building.
Right. So to address one of the things that they're talking about here, is the workplace, would that charging be free in this case, or are you paying?
I think it would be a bad look for an executive to get free charging on company time.
Because I've got to say, it does take executives to move the needle in making those sorts of decisions. Yeah. I remember back in the day when I worked at News Limited, I remember a lot of our executives were very big fans of BlackBerry, and that's the reason they got a BlackBerry enterprise server, a BES, in the building. Yeah. That was the decision made because they wanted it, they got it. Yeah. Similar here with the executives wanting the charges. But I think
the point these commenters are making is great. If they install charges and it's free, like that's not very fair on us because we're still having to pay for petrol.
I reckon to make it fair, I think that you should have to pay.
Yeah,
just so there's no.
I think
ill feeling.
Executives get priority parking spots normally anyway, right? So if it's hot desk parking, then the EVs get priority. Now, if there's more EVs than just the executives, you've got to put more charges in. But I think you should still pay for it. I think if you're not charging at home into your own control of your own building, your own solar or whatever, then wherever you go, you should be paying
a few cents
now,
per
of course,
kilowatt.
If you're a destination like a hotel and you want to offer a charger for free, that's a point of difference that might attract customers.
That's an attraction to stay there, of course.
But I think it would be unwise to offer free charging
to be people fighting
EV owners.
Even paying, I suppose, depending on how many people drive EVs, of course. But I think, having it as a paid option. And I often tell people when we advise people on, do you buy an EV, if they're thinking of buying an EV, one of the things I ask them is, look, just consider your charging setup.
You always ask that of our callers.
Do you charge at home? Do you charge at work? And the fact that the office, the factory, wherever the work is, has a charger, that could even maybe make someone decide, I'm going to buy an EV.
Because think about, and we often skate over this, but a big problem with the EV generation is going to be off-street parking. Yeah. If you have off-street parking, until you install good curbside charging, which a lot of Sweden and Norway and those kind of places
France,
have worked
Paris
out.
Has got them,
if you're an off-street parker at home and your workplace has charging, that's ideal because you can juice up during the day.
Absolutely.
But the question is really around, like, I think of SBS was a big car park, but a lot of staff. Yep. And if you got there early, I'd get there super early, parking right down the bottom. Good, excellent. Yeah. If you got there, 9:30, good luck. You have to go right up the top. If you got there at 10 o'clock, you might not get a spot.
Right.
So it was not enough
spots.
spots.
First in, best dressed.
So if you allocate, let's say, 10 spaces to EVs, just forget the charges from them. You just allocate those spaces, and there's 25 people that have EVs. Yeah. Well, those 10 are going to disappear in the same way that the overall car park disappears. Yeah. Then if you allocate...
there's a time limit. You have to have a time limit and then move out of it.
I was talking about just general parking. Okay.
Yeah.
Then if you put a charger in...
But why should, hang on, so with the charger, the space wouldn't have the EV, the charger next to it?
I'm just saying the different tiers of EV support, right? Okay. The different tiers... So the place I'm going to park the Audi EV for you to pick up tomorrow night, it has 3 spaces that are for EVs. There's no charging. Yep. Just for EVs. It's priority parking. Okay. So that's your first level of support for EVs in a business. No, you can pay for it. You're getting me off track. You're not listening. First tier is you support EVs by allocating spaces.
Correct.
But you still have the problem of more cars than spaces means someone's going to miss out. Another going to miss out entirely, assuming they're going to get space. Then you add a charger.
Yeah.
Free or charged, doesn't matter. And you say there's 10, let's say, but there's 20 people that own cars. Yeah. There's 10 people going to miss out. Do you then require people to move after an hour when they're charged?
Well, they'd have to have alternate parking spots
and
so
then
they can
if they do,
swap them.
What if the car park's full?
Yeah.
Like it's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're the managing director, you've got a spot and you put a charger in. And the answer to your question is he has to pay for power.
Yeah.
He's earning $400,000 or more. He should be paying for power.
Definitely. I think they could even set up an internal system where you log in. Say that, when you said the NBN's probably got their own little charging system. If they've got a little a chart, like their own little app or something that they can say, right, I'm occupying the charger now. Yeah. Trevor's going to be finished in 15 minutes. Stephen's reserved it next, and you get a notification say, right, Trevor's about to move his car. You move yours in. Yeah. And just to organise it a bit better rather than fighting over it. You can plan
I think it's a can of worms, Tony. In answer to your question, it's a massive can of worms. But I think the bottom line
done right,
is...
though,
Bottom line is it shouldn't be free. Or if it's free, it's free for all.
Absolutely. Well, free. Yeah, we're free. What do you mean, free for all petrol drivers?
No. Well, that's the point, right? That's Tony's point. Or Chris's point is, if you're supplying free power to vehicles, that's a can of worms you don't want to open.
That's a fair argument, though, don't you think? If
it's definitely. I do.
It's like the old. Remember when smoking was banned in offices? People had to go outside and have a smoke break.
Right.
The non-smokers don't get a break.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean?
I've told the story about one of the sales directors at 2GBs back in the day. Wednesday morning, he'd always be late to work, like 10 o'clock or something. Yeah. Oh, why are you late? Oh, taking the kids to school. Oh, okay, good on you, mate. Doesn't have kids. I'm like, what are you doing?
Whose kids are you taking to school?
He goes, everyone else gets to come in late because they're taking the kids to school or leave early. I just wanted to go surfing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
Why should everyone else, just because someone had kids, why do they get a tight? Yeah. They're not on a tight leash. That's great.
That is a one for the ages. That one.
Charge for charging.
Charge for charging.
That's what we reckon.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Let us know. 0477 657 657. The fact that that's
mate, I'm just trying to come up with something different, you know? Like,
what is this? But
walk
the Bengals?
Like an Egyptian. You got it. I don't believe it. You knew it. Wow. How's that? Were you even born then?
For people listening, Stephen just did not quite the Bengals because I think it's meant to be. You're meant to be like that.
Walk like an Egyptian.
No, but you did.
It was both ways.
You did. Yeah, I don't think you're meant to do it like that.
Both ways, mate.
Anyway, our next guest is another caller who owns an EV and has no idea what Stephen's done. But that doesn't matter, Rob, because you're on the show. Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. G'day, Rob. How you doing?
Oh, good, gents.
Now, you are an EV owner. That's why you've gotten in touch. 0477 657 657. Thank you, mate. Love to hear from people who own EVs. What do you own, mate?
So I've got a Tesla Y long range.
When did you get it?
I got it in March.
Okay, that's just so three or 4 months you've had it. Okay, so why did you do? I'm sure you did your homework, or was it always Tesla all the time? Were you attracted to other brands, or were you caught in the tractor beam, mate, of the Tesla?
My brother got a Tesla about a year ago, and I just went, this is a great car to drive.
Yeah.
But I'd made a conscious decision to transfer all our vehicles to either plug-in hybrid or EV. I'm actually an accountant, and I went, there's an FPT benefit here, so I can save some money. So that was actually
right. There we go.
Great accountant answer there.
So, you know what's funny? When you said I made a conscious decision, I assumed your next line was going to be because I want to save the world. But actually,
save money.
It's as much about the environment as it is about doing the right thing for your balance, for your bank balance in investing in buying cars, and not investment at all. So just because I actually said to Stephen before we started recording, you mentioned in your message novated leases and all this kind of stuff, and I said, mate, we're not experts on that.
Yeah.
We
leave that to our accountants.
I don't want to go near it. Turns out you're an accountant, so I've actually got more questions about that than anything else, to be honest. But what is this? What is the situation for people listening? Because we were going to get someone on. We will still. We hear this a lot from people. Previous callers have said, with all the FBT and
Yeah.
What is the situation in terms of why is this a good thing to buy?
Yeah. So this advice is general in nature.
Good point.
But so when you used to have an FB and a novated lease on a vehicle, there was an embedded tax of 17%. Mm-hmm. So you take the money out before tax, but they would charge you 17% tax. Now with EVs and plug-in hybrids, there's no tax on those vehicles at the moment.
Is it up to a certain amount, or is it all EVs?
Yeah, so it's up to the top of the luxury car tax. And so that's about, I think the long range with the Tesla Y as an example, you can get the long range with the big wheels, but you can't get the white leather.
So they brought you in under the limit, right? I see. Okay.
That's right.
Which is how much is that? Is that 70 something? What is it?
It's about something like that.
Yeah,
it changes every year. So I think it's 83 pre-GST number. I think that's the number. But
So you know,
Which
mate,
you get some great
you're a
cars.
numbers man. That saved you a fair bit of money. So that was the draw. So you knew. So is it because EV's slightly more expensive, you wanted to save the money? Is that what the draw was? Or obviously being an EV, you want to drive an electric car as well, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so I've come from a pretty fast regular car, and I wanted a fast car. So and I find the EV pretty good from a speed. Yeah,
absolutely.
The long reach is great to drive. But my actual question is about a towing vehicle. So my old car was a Forester, which could tow about 1,500 kilos. But a lot of the EVs that are under the FBT limit don't have a very big towing capacity. So I'm looking to tow a camper trailer, take the kids camping, soccer training, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We've got a Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid on order, but it's not coming till next year, and we ordered it last year.
Oh, wow. So you're thinking cancel that and move on with something else?
Well, if I can, but I'm just, looking to – there's only a limited selection of vehicles you can get.
It is a very narrow. So when you narrow the list, so firstly we're narrowing it under luxury car tax, and then we're adding in the towing capacity. Now, just to be clear, there's a lot of cars that'll tow. I've seen weirdos in the Cupra Born Facebook group adding tow balls to their Cupra Born. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But good luck to you, folks. I've also seen in the early days there was a lot of conversation about among Atto 3 owners from the BYD about adding tow capacity there. But look, you need to do a little bit more research on the actual capacity. But let me tell you this: I reckon if you're in that FEV market, have you looked at a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid?
That was my direct alternative, and they are very similar.
Did we drive that yet with you?
No,
I'll put that on the list because I think Stephen will love that because mate, the interior of those things, I think it's the Exceed model, which I don't think would push you over, but mate, they do a really beautiful interior. Yep. It's a great car. It does have towing capacity. Don't quote me. This is not advice. It should be just general advice.
This is general in nature.
I'm pretty sure it's a 1,600 kilo towing capacity. And it comes in a FEV plug-in hybrid.
And the key is very close. My wife preferred the Kia a bit more, so that's why we've gone for the Kia.
I think the Kia is a better looking car, and you're getting that new modern look from them as well. Yeah. But nothing wrong with the Mitsubishi at all.
So how does your EV9 go towing? Big car?
I have no idea.
Does it have towing capacity? Because, Trevor has got an EV9.
Doesn't fit under the luxury car tax, that's for sure.
But I think there is a model that just scraped under. They've dropped the price on one of them recently.
Towing capacity to EV9, 2,500.
Oh, right. 2 tonne.
I can
2 tonne towing.
Pull a load. Don't worry about that. Won't ever be adding a tow ball to the car though. That's just weird to me. Yeah. But so does that then complement your driving needs? You need a great a car that has. You want that sporty dimension to it. You want that speed you mentioned.
And towing.
With the Tesla. But then you want the second car that has the towing. Does that complete your driveway for you? Does it?
That's right. With a new set of panels on the roof, and that's. And I work in energy, by the way, so that's I'm trying to prove that you can do it and it makes sense financially.
So you said you work in energy, is that right? You said?
I do.
Okay, so tell us then, what's the charging situation then, speaking of energy?
So I've at the moment, I haven't got panels on my roof. I'm looking to put panels, but I've just got just a wall mount one you buy from Super Cheap Auto, charges over 14 hours.
Okay.
But I'm looking to...
Do you do it overnight then? You got the special deal with your retailer, your energy retailer?
I've got an old 5 and 6 dumb meter, so they don't know when there's no time of use for me, so it doesn't matter.
I had the same thing. I had didn't have a smart meter, and so I thought, here's the thing, I'll get a smart meter and it'll be better for me. And then I rang them after I got the smart meter, and it turned out far worse to get time of day usage. It was ridiculous, but I'm obviously moving to solar, so it'll benefit in the long run. So, mate, I think in answer to your question, I think the Outlander is really the only other strong option for you in the towing space.
But what's to say that he's going to wait till next year for that as well? Or have they got stock available? Or that's
the big question. I reckon if you started looking around, you might have a bit more luck.
You got contacts at Kia. Well, can't you sort him out with the Sorento?
Wow.
Hey.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Come on.
Come on, Trev. Have a go, mate.
Okay, fine. I'm going to stop you right there, and I'll tell you this right now. We're going to test this for you.
Okay. Here we go.
I actually contacted Aaron. We've spoken about it before. Aaron is the guy that hooked me up with a great deal on my Kia. So what I'm going to do, Rob, is I'm going to connect you with Aaron, who can easily sell the Sorrento PHEV or the Outlander through their same motoring group.
Yep.
And I'm going to get you a better deal.
Boom.
I'll guarantee you a better deal. This is the thing
is, Rob,
can be done.
you're going to have to do Trev's taxes for free, mate. Yeah, okay.
I know.
He's looked after you. You got to do actually both our taxes for free. You got to do okay.
And look, without going into great detail, I had this thought and this conversation about how we are connecting people with cars and ideas and stuff.
Mate, of course.
And look, I'm not looking to clip the ticket on the way through for your car, but I just think that there's a real advantage out there that people aren't executing on, and I want to help people with that. Yep. So, Rob, here's what we're going to do: we're going to connect you with our guy, and we're going to see if we can get you a car, either the Kia or the Mitsubishi, in a good space of time, and hopefully at a great price as well.
Oh, thanks, boys.
What more could you want, Rob, from a podcast, eh?
Hey,
mate.
find me
Thank you,
another
boys.
podcast that's saving you money. All right, just doesn't happen. All right, mate.
Well, the other podcasts have saved me a few times, so I appreciate it, gents.
Good on you, mate.
Long-time listener.
Thank you,
Good on
buddy.
you, mate.
We appreciate
Good on
it,
you, buddy.
mate. I think you've been listening. You must have been listening for years, because you said the 200th episode of Two Blokes Talking Tech. That would be how many years ago?
That's a while back.
Far out.
That's
By
a
the
long
way,
time.
mate, there is another podcast called Tech Guide. The Tech Guide podcast. We just did I just did my 600th episode
a few weeks
recently.
ago. Well, mate,
so,
but
yeah.
stick loyal, mate. Stick loyal, Rob.
No, thanks, guys.
Good on you,
All
Rob.
right, buddy. We'll be in touch. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for getting in touch.
There you go.
Yeah, no worries at all. Look, I hadn't planned to do that. Just to be clear, not a plan.
I actually put it on you then. I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
You really did.
I'm sorry. But you might do our taxes for free.
But it is something I'm almost passionate about, because
yeah, of course, mate.
I
You connect people. Is that right?
Well, yeah, but we do it all the time on the radio. When someone has a problem with Samsung, we refer them, that kind of stuff. I was blown away by the deal that I got from Aaron. And I don't believe for a second, or I thought for a moment, man, I'm doing pretty well.
Mates rates, yeah.
But it's just, you've just got to know the right people. And
Absolutely,
I think
mate.
we should try and connect people to cars and get the value where you can. By the way, it's not every car, but there's a good list of cars. So we'll test it with Rob and see how that goes. And it is hilarious to me that I said to you, just before we hit record, and I dialed Rob, I said, let's not talk about novated leases.
We know nothing about him.
Because I know nothing about it. He goes, I'm an accountant.
He's an accountant. Hello.
Brilliant. Anyway,
awesome.
It's awesome to hear from people. It's what we do all the time, talking on the radio and places, talking about tech. And here we do it now, talking electric cars. And you can get in touch, techguide.com.au, EFTM.com, or send us a text, 0477 657 657.
You were looking at me then, weren't you?
I was playing some instruments and you brushed me.
It's like the Virgin. Have you seen the Virgin ad? Where there's all the baggage handlers are playing. Yeah, it's funny, yeah. Why is that girl so sour? She's going on a trip. Why is she so sour?
She's a teenager.
Oh, God.
I've got one of those.
Yeah. Okay. Did you dance around for her, mate, to make her...
Yeah, and it doesn't make her laugh at all.
All right,
no reaction.
all right.
Anyway, if you've got a reaction to anything you hear on the show or see, oh, you poor simple, that's a bit tragic. 0477 657 657. Lucas is on the line. G'day, Lucas.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Yeah,
Hi there, mate.
Really good, mate. What can we do for you?
I was just calling in to talk about the guy from last week from Singapore who was worried about range for long distance travelling and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. He's coming back. He's an expat. He's coming back.
Yes.
And he's going to buy a car.
So you're an outdoorsy kind of guy. Is that right, Lucas? You're out there camping and doing that sort of stuff. So what do you got to say about that?
I try to be. But, yeah, we had to go to Tassie for my wife's father-in-law's 75th. And we decided that we drive, and we actually bought a tent to the back of the Tesla Model Y, and we decided we'd go camping and maybe take the e-bikes and go riding as well.
Well, you really loaded that thing up. So Model Y. So is it just you and your wife? You got kids?
We've got 2 kids, but they're like adult age, so they don't bother coming with us anymore.
They don't want to travel with mum and dad. If they were going to the 75th, they would have flown down and said, no way we're spending 10 hours with you. So it's just you two in the front of the car. You've loaded up the back with enough luggage and camping gear. Plus, how do you put the bikes on? You got a big bike rack on the back, do you? Or you put them on the top?
Yeah, I've got an e-bike rack. There's no way I'd ever put a bike on my roof, having seen what other people have done to their garages.
Roof. Yeah. Plus, it's got a glass roof, mate. You don't want to be tampering with that.
If there's still roof rack holes, you could still put roof racks
for
on.
a Model Y. Yeah, I'd assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I've been riding for 20 odd years, and there's just no way.
Okay, so you put them hang them off the back of the car.
What I'm hearing from Lucas is there's too much risk. He's forgotten the bikes on the roof and runs into a low hanging garage door at home. That's what it sounds like to me, Lucas.
Seen it too many times.
Right.
So how was the experience camping, mate? So in terms of
how was the
battery,
experience on the trip? Yeah.
Well, the battery, like you drove. So you drove from where? From Victoria to Tasmania.
Canberra.
Canberra to Tasmania.
How many k's is that?
Wow, that's a drive.
It was about 800 or 900, I think, to get to Geelong.
Yep.
And then on the boat to Devonport.
Yep.
And then we pretty much just travelled along the top. So Smithfield, Burnie, and then went across to St Helens, which is where the birthday party was.
How did you find the charging infrastructure in Tassie? Was there charges where you needed them, or did you push it to the limit?
Mate, I was really surprised at the number of charges that were available in Tassie. I did some research beforehand, and I said, there's a 150, there's a 50, there's a 250, there's 350, whatever, so I could work out where we might need to go. But we did not have a problem at all. And I was pleasantly surprised, and it was nice to come off the boat. And there's a Tesla supercharger right there.
Next interesting.
Handy.
But, carrying all that gear, and those e-bikes are not light. Did you ever cut it a bit fine? Because, the range calculator might have been a bit off with the weight you were carrying?
Yes. So we drove from Canberra to Gundagai, and we topped up there. And I thought, okay, well, we'll just do what the car tells us. And we filled up. And there was a line that started to form. So I took off because I thought, let's let these guys get in and do their thing, and it reckons we'll make it to Wodonga.
Okay.
And I think we're on the highway towards Wodonga, and I looked, and there was like 20 k's left.
Oh.
And I'm side glancing at my wife, going, I hope she doesn't look at this. And
yep.
She panics a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll just ease off on the speed a bit, and we'll just see how we go.
Turn off the AC and all that, did you? Or?
Your wife's like, why is it so hot in here? We don't need air conditioning.
She'll be right, mate. Yeah.
No dramas.
And I think we just got to Wodonga, and it was showing 5. Ooh. And she looked over and she goes, what the hell is this? And I went, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. But we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
And, we got there with 3 Ks left on the clock.
Smashed it. I've got a question about you said you bought a tent that fits on the back of the Model Y. Is that right? How does that work?
Yes.
Is it specifically built for that purpose, or you just made that yourself, or how's it work?
No, there's a couple of mobs that actually make them, and you just you open the hatch, you put up the tent, and then you sort of wrap it around the hatch so it's all open.
Oh, right.
And and because we dropped the back seats, and we had we've got a blow up mattress that fits as well. So we slept in the back, and then all our crap was in the tent itself. So
right.
we could keep our bikes in there. And
gotcha.
everything else.
So the Model Y was your tent? basically.
Yes.
That was your bed.
So
It was
you
your bed.
actually sleep in the Model Y
Yeah, put the back
with the
seats
seats down, but all your associated stuff that would normally be in the boot, you sit kind of in the tent behind the car.
That's it.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, I don't think
And
many
we
people where you could do that. So
Can I ask what that tent's
There's a
worth?
camping mode too, in a camping mode. Sorry, yeah. What's the tent worth? And we'll talk camping mode.
Oh, the tent was about $600.
Oh, that's pretty
Wasn't
good.
cheap.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's all right.
Not
What's
bad.
camping mode, Stephen?
Isn't there a camping mode in a Tesla? Is there a camping mode where you?
Not like the doggy mode.
Yeah. No. Listen, there's camping mode. Am I right?
Yeah, camp mode, dog mode.
Yeah.
You can set the temperature that you like, and
Yeah. So
off
the
you go.
aircon keeps
So,
working. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we picked powered campsites,
Yeah.
and we'd plug the car in at the site that we're in. So any energy we used was
You were
put back in
taken
the
back.
car.
You were topping it back, topping it
genius.
up.
Yeah.
See, that's smart. Yeah.
Well, I got
Yeah,
the-
'cause
I-
we-
Did you get the?
I want to get a tent for the EV9 because
Mate.
we've got a PowerPoint in the back. We could run stuff off as well.
There's also the
Yes.
camping mode. There's also intimacy mode. You get the
Oh,
little campfire. You get the little campfire going on the screen. Have you? You know, you
Well,
get
the
that
kids
feature.
didn't come, did they, Lucas?
You get the little campfire happening on the screen. There, little fire there. It's
I did do that, and it was like, turn it off. I want to sleep. So
yeah.
Turn off the fake campfire
Yeah,
is
mate.
the
Yeah.
new. I've got a headache. Well done, Lucas.
Good on you, mate.
Mate, that's like it's fascinating because that's a long journey. Was that your first big journey in the car, by the way?
it was.
Yeah, right.
and not
so
the last by the sounds of it.
What did you learn from that? What would you
No.
do differently, and what would you advise, therefore, other owners of EVs to do differently on such a trip?
You really do have to plan.
Yeah.
And one thing that I didn't take into consideration was the bikes initially. And they're about a 20% drag on the
aero.
battery
on the
utilization.
range? Yeah, rail. Okay.
Yeah. So after we got to Wodonga, we added an extra 20%, and then we never had an issue.
Right.
God,
Yeah, that's
So
smart.
there's
That's a good
that.
tip.
Um,
yeah. So they're
working
heavy.
out
They're
where
heavy
you wanna
bikes.
go.
They're
Heavy and the aero,
Heavy.
just
Yeah.
changing the aerodynamic drag on the car
Yeah,
would
for
be
sure.
a huge
Yeah.
problem.
It
That's
would
why the
impact.
car's so ugly for aerodynamics. Sorry, Lucas.
Yes. But
Is it your
I get
car or
what
your
you're
wife's
saying.
car, mate? Whose car is it?
Hang on, he's agreeing with me, even though he owns one.
Oh, come on. Come on.
from some angles, it is dodgy.
Oh, wow. That's what they say about Trevor, actually. But, so it's your car or your wife's car? Who's the principal driver of the car? It'd be you, wouldn't it?
It is. So we have a Model 3
Oh,
as well.
Doing very,
that one.
very
And-
well. Yeah.
And my wife just picked up a BYD Dolphin.
Wow.
hey,
Jeez.
hang on.
So-
Are you getting
so
rid of
we're
one of
all
them,
in.
or are you keeping all three?
We have 2 adult children.
Oh,
that
they're
like
still
to drive
sponging on.
everywhere.
So even though they won't go to
They
their
won't come
to go to
camping
the
with
birthday,
you, but they'll borrow a
they're
car
still
off you.
sponging the heck off mum and dad. Well done,
Yes.
well done.
That's good.
Yes,
Bravo.
yes.
Hey, real quick, Stephen's driving the Dolphin
Yeah,
now.
Dolphin's a nice little car. Cute little car. It does the trick. It's really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
What drew you to that price?
Price, and we just really needed a city commuter car. That was it. Like, it was never going to go interstate. It was always just,
Yep.
well, at the moment it goes from home to college and back.
Yep.
And the gym for my daughter.
Yep.
And yeah, so
Nice.
I think we charged it on the weekend to 100%. My daughter's the only one that's been driving it and going to work, going from home to school and back.
Yeah.
And I think I looked at it last night and it was still on 94%.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the equivalent of running on the smell of an oily rag? What's the EV equivalent of that?
Well, she's not.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to because
Yeah.
she's high on electricity right there, 94%.
That's good. No, it is.
Mate.
I've been driving it this week actually, and it's
Great
hardly
little
moved.
runabout.
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly as you say, Lucas.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, mate, you're all in.
Yeah.
You can be our all in, mate. We love to hear your feedback on EVs. Anytime you want to get in touch, mate. Thank you for listening, and thanks for the story about the road trip, buddy. And hopefully our mate in Singapore learns something from that, especially
Absolutely.
if he's taken bikes with him. That's
Yes.
like we talk about temperature affecting
Yes.
range, speed affecting
Yep.
range. Throw some bikes on the back.
Yep.
It's not about the weight. It's both the weight and the aero efficiency. A big problem. Very interesting. Good on you, Lucas. Great to chat,
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Thanks, gents.
Cheers, buddy. Good on you. So, I thought I was doing very well being a 2 EV owner.
He's got 3.
He's got 3.
Wow.
That's wild. If you own 2 EVs, I definitely want to hear from you. I think that's like you're really involved in the ecosystem.
Yep.
If you're like Stephen, you've owned multiple. We want to hear the evolution of people because
Most definitely.
Someone like Stephen who's been an owner for so long, I've driven them for so long.
Yep.
You've got a story to tell about what you've seen and lived because it's all well and good. We spoke to Rob Rigby who owned an Atto 3 and had to change the leasing finance. Got another one.
Yeah, that's right.
There's an opportunity to change.
Absolutely.
I find that part of it also fascinating. So you don't have to be a new owner. You could be an OG and on your third car. We don't mind. Want to hear from you.
I wonder what the record is. How many people are like, I'm up to 2. Like, would there be someone up to 3 already?
Yeah, because you think about a lot of people do like 3-year finance.
Yeah, right. So, that'd be about
like if
right.
you went early,
you
could easily be on your 4th.
Maybe, yeah. I suppose the Model S was here, 2018?
2014, yeah. It's 14,
15, yeah, wow.
So it's
I still see some of them on the road. They're still getting around.
They still exist. They don't just burn up.
No, but I don't know whether it's the original owner or not. But you still see a few of them.
There's one around here that's your colour, everything.
Right.
And I just think every now and then I wonder if it's the bloke.
The midnight silver with the white.
I wonder if it's
silver.
the bloke that bought it with the white interior, the whole kit.
Ah.
And I think that could be Stephen's old car.
I'll tell you the number plate off air.
Oh, yeah,
you can
definitely.
Check it. Yeah,
because I'll definitely
Because I changed it. Remember, I took my SF plates off and put other ones. Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, techguide.com.au, EFTM.com. We love hearing from you and we love telling stories about EVs. Good, bad and indifferent. Happy to hear them all and happy to tell them all because that's the experience of owning an EV. 2 Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Couldn't keep any time with the music. Just getting a headache swaying from side to side. Just finally, before we go, thanks for those calls. Great to talk to you.
Good to chat.
And we want to hear from more people over the weeks and months ahead. Follow up, though, from a caller from a few weeks ago. FYI, guys, and I'm really sorry I forget your name. It might have been Aaron.
Okay.
Adam. Anyway.
Yep.
Went for another test drive in the BYD Seal. So this was a caller that said, I was thinking about it. You were driving it.
I reviewed it.
It's all good.
Yep.
Loved it even more.
Boom.
Wife loved it. Massive tick box. We put a deposit down. Thanks for the advice.
Bang.
Most blogs of current owners are super positive as well. Can't wait. Also, the showroom looked like a Taylor Swift concert. It was packed. That'd probably be the showroom down
Alexandria. Yeah, that's right. I picked mine. The
it
one
is an
I
impressive
drove.
place because it doesn't look like a car dealer.
Yeah, well, it looks like a big shopping centre. It looks like a super centre, and BYD sort of tucked up that in the back corner there.
But even when you go into BYD, it's not like a car dealer. It's
it's sort of all like
different
stages of each car's got a different stage, and they're
like a
very
little
friendly
mini motor
staff.
show just for them.
Absolutely right. Yeah, good way of putting it. It is a very nice environment to enjoy and showcase each vehicle.
Is it big enough? Is it big enough to cope with the number of vehicles they've got coming? We talked last week about the...
they have. It is big enough. They had like several Atto 3s in a row and several seals, couple of seals and a dolphin. And it sounds like we're talking about the aquarium. It's actually BYD's office, but their dealership. But no, it's good news to hear that he's going to pull it. Because when I drove the Seal, my mum loved it. My wife even liked it. She said, that's quite nice. My neighbour loved it. It was very eye-catching and one of those things that you sit in it. It's actually quite comfortable and really nice to drive.
Good decision. Well done. And we're glad to hear back from you. And we're happy to hear from anyone. Get in touch anytime. 2 Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Thank you to NRMA Insurance and Union Smart Dash Cams. We'll be back again next week, Stephen. See you then.
See you then, buddy.